Have you ever wondered why, despite your best efforts, life doesn't always unfold the way you want? You've tried to control outcomes, chase success, and pour all your energy into goals. Yet sometimes, the more you force things, the further they seem from your reach. What if I told you that the key to living a fulfilling and peaceful life lies not in pushing harder, but in letting go and flowing with life as it is? In this video, we'll explore 10 transformative lessons based on the principles of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that teaches us how to find inner peace, clarity, and strength by living in harmony with nature rather than resisting it. By the end of this journey, you'll not only understand how to reduce stress and anxiety, but also how to find joy in life's simplest moments. These are not just abstract ideas, but practical methods you can apply in your daily life to find true freedom and happiness. Stay with us as we dive deep into each principle, guiding you on a path to live with wisdom and serenity. By watching this video to the end, you'll gain insights that could transform how you approach your life, free from the need to control everything and full of peace in every moment. 1. Live fully in the present. Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good. These words of Marcus Aurelius, one of the great philosophers of Stoicism, remind us of a profound truth. Our time on earth is limited, and the only real moment we have is the one happening right now. How often do we allow ourselves to get lost in thoughts about the past or worries about the future, missing the very life that is unfolding in front of us? Ask yourself, how many times have you sat with a loved one, but your mind was elsewhere, preoccupied with tomorrow's tasks or last week's mistakes? How often have you missed the beauty of a sunset, the laughter of a child, or the quiet stillness of the morning, simply because your thoughts were trapped in a different time? Stoicism teaches us that to live fully, we must return to the present moment over and over again, because it is the only place where life truly happens. Living in the present doesn't mean ignoring the future or dismissing the past. It means being fully aware of what is within your power right now. In the present moment, you can act with clarity, make decisions with wisdom, and experience the fullness of life. When you learn to let go of distractions and focus on the here and now, you'll discover that even the simplest things can bring deep joy, whether it's the warmth of the sun on your skin, the taste of a meal, or the sound of birds in the distance. Have you ever wondered what life would feel like if you were fully present in each moment? Imagine sitting under a tree, feeling the breeze, and listening to the rustle of leaves, your mind free from worries, and your heart open to the beauty around you. How different would your experience of life be? The next time you catch yourself drifting into thoughts of the future or the past, gently bring yourself back to the present. Ask yourself, what is happening right now? How can I make the most of this moment? This is a daily practice that requires patience, but with time, you'll find that your life becomes richer and more peaceful. As we move forward, consider this. If the present moment is the only place where life exists, how can we embrace the inevitable changes that life brings without losing our peace? Life is constantly changing, and resisting this change only causes suffering. But when we learn to accept the impermanence of all things, we can move through life with grace and resilience. Let's dive into this idea further in the next section, as we explore how Stoicism helps us navigate life's inevitable changes. 2. Embrace impermanence. No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river, and he's not the same man. Heraclitus' change is the only constant in life. Yet, how often do we resist it? We long for things to stay the same, for good times to last forever, and for difficult moments to pass as quickly as possible. But Stoicism teaches us that everything is temporary, both the joys and the sorrows. The more we cling to the idea of permanence, the more we suffer. Have you ever found yourself wishing a particular phase of your life would never end? Or perhaps you've tried to hold on to a relationship, a job, or even an emotional state long after it was clear that things had changed? When we resist the natural flow of life, we create tension, disappointment, and often a sense of loss. Stoicism reminds us to embrace life's impermanence, understanding that this is the natural order of things. Think of the seasons. Spring brings new life, summer is full of energy, autumn signals a gentle decline, and winter, though cold and still, prepares the world for a new spring. Our lives follow similar cycles. We experience phases of growth, abundance, decline, and rest. By recognizing and accepting these changes, we cultivate resilience and wisdom. Instead of fearing the end of a chapter, we can appreciate the beauty of each season as it comes. How would your life change if you truly accepted that everything is impermanent? Would you appreciate each moment more fully, knowing it won't last forever? Would you approach difficulties with more patience, trusting that they too will pass? When we resist change, we create suffering. But when we embrace the truth of impermanence, we find freedom. We become more present, more grateful, and more at peace with whatever life brings. The next time you find yourself clinging to something or someone, ask, what if I allowed this to change? How can I flow with life's natural rhythm instead of fighting against it? The beauty of Stoicism lies in this understanding of impermanence. By accepting that everything changes, our relationships, our circumstances, even our emotions, we free ourselves from unnecessary anxiety. Instead of fearing the future or lamenting the past, we can live fully in the moment, appreciating the fleeting nature of life. Now that we've explored the importance of embracing change, let's consider how we can practice acceptance in a deeper way. Acceptance isn't just about tolerating difficult circumstances. It's about finding peace within ourselves, regardless of what happens around us. How can we cultivate this inner strength? Let's move to the next principle. 3. Practice acceptance. We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. Epictetus. Acceptance is one of the core principles of Stoicism. It's easy to misunderstand acceptance as passive or weak, as if it means giving up on our goals or resigning ourselves to fate. But true acceptance is a form of inner strength. It's about acknowledging reality as it is, without resistance or complaint, and then choosing how we respond to it. Consider a time when something didn't go as planned. Perhaps you lost a job, a relationship ended, or you faced an unexpected challenge. What was your initial reaction? Did you resist the situation, trying to change or deny it? Did you feel overwhelmed by emotions like anger, frustration, or fear? Stoicism teaches us that while we cannot control external events, we have complete control over our reactions. When we practice acceptance, we stop resisting reality. We stop trying to force life to fit our expectations and instead learn to work with what is in front of us. This doesn't mean we stop striving for better outcomes. It means we approach life's challenges with a calm mind and an open heart, knowing that our peace of mind doesn't depend on external circumstances. Ask yourself, what would happen if you stopped resisting the difficult parts of your life? What if, instead of fighting against what is, you accepted it and asked yourself, what is the wisest way for me to respond? In every situation, you have the power to choose your response, and that is where your true strength lies. Think of the analogy of a sailor navigating the sea. The sailor cannot control the wind or the waves, but they can control how they steer the boat. In the same way, you cannot control every circumstance in your life, but you can control how you steer through them. Acceptance allows you to navigate life's storms with grace and wisdom. As you reflect on this, I encourage you to stay with us for the rest of this video. Each of the upcoming lessons will build on this idea of inner strength, helping you cultivate peace and resilience in a world full of uncertainty. You've already come this far. Why not stay until the end and see how these principles can transform your approach to life? Now that we've explored acceptance, let's dive deeper into the idea of letting go. How can we release the things that no longer serve us and create space for peace and clarity? 4. Learn to let go. Your happiness depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. One of the most profound lessons in Stoicism is learning to let go. Letting go doesn't mean giving up or becoming passive. It means freeing yourself from attachments that cause suffering. So often, we hold on tightly to things, people, and outcomes that are beyond our control. We cling to past mistakes, unrealistic expectations, or toxic relationships, thinking that if we just try harder, we can make everything right. But this only leads to more frustration and pain. Imagine you are holding a hot stone in your hand. The longer you hold it, the more it burns you. But instead of letting it go, you grip it tighter, believing that somehow holding on will make the pain go away. Life is like this. When we cling to things we cannot control, we hurt ourselves. But when we learn to let go, we create space for healing, peace, and freedom. Ask yourself, what are you holding on to that no longer serves you? Is it a past failure or a fear of the future? Is it anger, resentment, or guilt? What would your life look like if you let go of these burdens? How much lighter and freer would you feel? Stoicism teaches us that our thoughts shape our reality. If we fill our minds with fear, regret, or unrealistic expectations, we create suffering. But when we let go of these negative thoughts and focus on what truly matters, we find peace. Letting go isn't about giving up. It's about recognizing what is within our control and releasing what is not. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that the quality of our thoughts determines the quality of our life. So how can we improve the quality of our thoughts? By letting go of unnecessary worries and focusing on what we can control, our actions, our attitudes, and our responses to life. Letting go is an act of courage. It requires us to face our fears, acknowledge our attachments, and make a conscious choice to release them. It's not always easy, but it's one of the most powerful steps you can take toward living a more peaceful and meaningful life. As we move to the next principle, let's explore how mindfulness can help us stay present and connected, making it easier to let go and live with more clarity and peace. 5. Practice mindfulness. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. In the fast-paced world we live in, it's easy to get swept away by distractions, emotions, and external events. Our minds often race from one thought to the next, planning, worrying, and over-analyzing. Stoicism teaches us that while we cannot control external circumstances, we have the power to master our inner world. This is where the practice of mindfulness comes in. Mindfulness, in the context of Stoicism, is about being fully present and aware of your thoughts, feelings, and surroundings without judgment. It's about recognizing your emotions and thoughts as they arise, but not allowing them to control you. Have you ever noticed how easily a small worry can spiral into overwhelming anxiety? Or how a single negative thought can ruin an entire day? Mindfulness helps us break this cycle by bringing us back to the present moment and giving us the space to respond rather than react. Ask yourself, how often do you find yourself distracted by thoughts of the future or the past, even when you're in the middle of something important? How much of your life do you miss because your mind is elsewhere? When was the last time you truly focused on what you were doing without letting your thoughts wander? The practice of mindfulness allows you to reclaim control over your mind. Instead of being at the mercy of your emotions or external circumstances, you can observe them with clarity and choose how to respond. Imagine coming home after a stressful day at work. Your mind is swirling with thoughts about unfinished tasks, upcoming deadlines, or personal issues. In that moment, Instead of letting the stress control you, what if you took a few minutes to sit quietly, breathe deeply, and focus on the present moment? What if you asked yourself, what can I do right now to feel more at peace? When you practice mindfulness, you begin to realize that most of your stress and anxiety come not from the situations themselves, but from your thoughts about them. As Epictetus, another key figure in Stoicism, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Mindfulness helps you take control of your reactions by creating a space between the stimulus and your response. This space is where your freedom and strength lie. So, how can you begin practicing mindfulness in your daily life? Start with something simple. Set aside a few minutes each day to sit in silence and focus on your breathing. Pay attention to the sensations of the air entering and leaving your body. If your mind starts to wander, gently bring it back to your breath without judgment. Over time, you'll find that this practice not only reduces stress, but also helps you stay more focused, present, and calm throughout your day. As you continue practicing mindfulness, you'll also become more aware of your thoughts and emotions in real time. You'll notice when you're starting to get swept up in anger, frustration, or worry, and you'll be able to bring yourself back to the present moment. This practice will transform how you experience life, helping you stay grounded and centered no matter what challenges you face. Now that we've explored mindfulness, let's move to the next principle, the power of silence. Just as mindfulness allows us to observe our thoughts, silence gives us the space to listen to our inner wisdom. Let's see how silence can be a powerful tool in cultivating inner peace and clarity. Before we continue, I'd love to hear your thoughts. How do you practice mindfulness in your daily life? What challenges have you faced in staying present, and how has this principle helped you? Feel free to share your experiences in the comments below, and let's discuss together how mindfulness can bring more peace into our lives. 6. Value silence. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. Epictetus. In today's noisy world, silence is often overlooked and undervalued. We are surrounded by constant stimulation, notifications, conversations, media, and the endless chatter of our own thoughts. Yet, Stoicism teaches us that silence is one of the most powerful tools we have for self-reflection, understanding, and growth. When was the last time you truly embraced silence? Not just the absence of external noise, but the kind of silence that allows you to quiet your mind and listen to your inner voice. Silence provides the space we need to step back, reflect, and gain perspective. It's in silence that we can hear the wisdom of our own thoughts and connect with the deeper truths of life. Consider a time when you were faced with a difficult decision or a moment of conflict. Did you react immediately, without thinking? Or did you take a moment of silence to reflect, to assess the situation, and to choose your response wisely? Stoicism encourages us to pause before we speak or act. In that pause, in that silence, we find the clarity to make better decisions. Silence also helps us build stronger relationships. When we listen more than we speak, we create space for understanding. How often do we interrupt others, eager to share our own thoughts and opinions without truly listening to what they are saying? What would happen if instead we practiced silence, allowing others to fully express themselves before responding? In silence, we show respect, patience, and a willingness to understand. Ask yourself, how often do you create moments of silence in your life? Do you give yourself time each day to step away from the noise and distractions, to sit quietly with your thoughts? What insights might you discover if you embraced silence more often? Stoicism teaches that silence is not just the absence of sound, but the cultivation of a deeper awareness. When we are silent, we can listen more carefully to the world around us, to others, and to ourselves. In that listening, we can find the wisdom and clarity we need to navigate life's challenges with grace. The next time you're in a moment of conflict, stress, or uncertainty, try embracing silence. Take a breath, pause, and listen, both to the external situation and to your own inner voice. You might be surprised by the insights and peace that arise from this simple practice. As we move on to the next principle, let's shift our focus from silence to the idea of enjoying the journey. Life is not just about reaching goals, it's about appreciating the process along the way. How can we learn to find joy in the journey rather than obsessing over the destination? Let's explore this in the next section. 7. Enjoy the journey, not just the outcome. Do not anticipate trouble or worry about what may never happen. Keep to the sunlight. Marcus Aurelius. In our goal-driven society, it's easy to focus so much on achieving results that we forget to enjoy the process. We chase after success, recognition, and accomplishments, believing that happiness lies at the end of the road. But Stoicism reminds us that the true value of life lies not in the outcome, but in the journey itself. Imagine you're climbing a mountain. The summit represents your goal, whether it's career success, a personal achievement, or something else you've been striving for. But what happens if you're so focused on reaching the top that you miss the beauty of the path along the way? You miss the friends you make, the lessons you learn, and the breathtaking views that unfold as you climb. Stoicism teaches us that the journey is just as important, if not more so, than the destination. Ask yourself, how often do you rush through life, constantly chasing the next goal, without taking the time to appreciate where you are right now? How much joy do you miss because you're so focused on the future? What if you could find happiness in the process itself, rather than waiting for some future outcome? The truth is, we cannot control the future. We cannot guarantee that we will reach our goals exactly as we imagine. But we can control how we approach the journey. When we learn to enjoy each step, life becomes lighter, more meaningful, and more fulfilling. Every challenge becomes an opportunity for growth, every moment a chance to learn something new. Stoicism encourages us to focus on the present moment, not just as a way to reduce anxiety, but as a way to find joy in the here and now. The future is uncertain, and the past is already gone. What we have is today, and how we live today shapes the quality of our life. So, how can you shift your perspective to enjoy the journey? The next time you set a goal for yourself, remind yourself that the goal is just one part of the equation. The process of getting there, whether it's the hard work, the lessons learned, or the relationships built along the way, is where the real value lies. When you enjoy the journey, you take the pressure off the outcome. You become more flexible, more resilient, and more open to whatever life brings. As we continue this journey together, let's explore the next principle: finding joy in simplicity. How can we cultivate happiness by appreciating the simple things in life? Let's move on to the next section. 8. Find joy in simplicity. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. Marcus Aurelius. In our pursuit of success, wealth, and recognition, we often forget that happiness is not something found in grand achievements or material possessions. Stoicism teaches us that true joy can be found in the simplest things, and that it is our thoughts, not external circumstances, that shape our happiness. Have you ever noticed how children find delight in the smallest things? A falling leaf, a butterfly, or a simple game can bring them endless joy. As we grow older, we often lose touch with this ability to appreciate the little moments in life. We start to believe that happiness is something we must chase, something that comes from achieving big goals or acquiring more things. But in reality, happiness is much closer than we think. It's right here, in the simple moments we often overlook. Ask yourself, when was the last time you felt genuine joy from something simple? Maybe it was the warmth of the sun on your skin, the smell of fresh coffee in the morning, or the sound of laughter shared with a friend. How often do you pause to appreciate these small but meaningful experiences? Stoicism encourages us to cultivate a mindset of gratitude and simplicity. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that very little is needed to live a happy life. It's all about how we perceive the world around us. Instead of constantly striving for more, what if we focused on appreciating what we already have? What if we found joy in the simple things that make each day unique? Take a moment to reflect on your daily life. How often do you rush through your day, focused on what's next, without pausing to appreciate the present moment? How would your life change if you slowed down and took the time to notice the small joys around you? The taste of a good meal, the beauty of nature, or the warmth of a hug from a loved one. These are the things that bring real happiness. Living with simplicity doesn't mean giving up on your goals or ambitions. It means recognizing that you don't need to achieve something extraordinary to be happy. It's about shifting your focus from what you lack to what you already have. When you stop chasing after external things to fill a void, you'll find that joy is already within you. So, how can you begin to find joy in the simplest things? Start by practicing gratitude. Each day, take a few moments to reflect on what you're thankful for, whether it's a beautiful sunset, a kind word from a friend, or a quiet moment of peace. By doing this, you'll train your mind to focus on the positive aspects of life, and you'll find that happiness is much easier to access than you once thought. Now that we've explored the beauty of simplicity, let's dive into the next principle, the art of gratitude. Gratitude is not just about saying thank you, it's a way of living that can transform your entire outlook on life. Let's explore how Stoicism encourages us to cultivate gratitude in every moment. 9. Cultivate gratitude. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Marcus Aurelius. Gratitude is one of the most powerful practices in Stoicism. It shifts our focus from what we don't have to what we do have, helping us appreciate the present moment and find peace in the midst of life's challenges. But gratitude isn't just a fleeting feeling. It's a mindset, a way of living that allows us to see the good in every situation, no matter how small. Have you ever stopped to reflect on all the things in your life that you take for granted? The fact that you have a roof over your head, food on your table, and the ability to connect with others are all gifts that many people in the world do not have. How often do we pause to appreciate these things? How much more fulfilling would life be if we started each day with a sense of gratitude for even the smallest blessings? Gratitude in Stoicism goes beyond simply being thankful for what's going well in our lives. It's about finding something to appreciate in every situation, even the difficult ones. Epictetus, another great Stoic philosopher, reminds us that we can choose how we interpret the events of our lives. Even in adversity, there is always something to be grateful for, whether it's the lesson we've learned, the strength we've gained, or the opportunity to grow. Ask yourself, how often do you practice gratitude? When faced with a challenge, do you focus on what's going wrong, or do you look for the silver lining? What would happen if, instead of complaining about life's difficulties, you expressed gratitude for the opportunity to grow stronger and wiser? When we cultivate gratitude, we begin to see the world in a different light. We become more resilient, more positive, and more at peace with life as it is. Gratitude is a way of training our minds to focus on what's good rather than what's lacking. And the more we practice it, the more we realize just how much we have to be thankful for. Gratitude also helps us build stronger relationships with others. When we express our appreciation for the people in our lives, we create deeper connections and foster a sense of mutual respect and kindness. So, the next time someone does something kind for you, take a moment to acknowledge it, not just with words, but with genuine appreciation. To make gratitude a part of your daily life, Start a simple practice. Each morning or evening, write down 3 things you are grateful for. They don't have to be big or extraordinary. Sometimes the simplest things are the most meaningful. Over time, you'll find that this practice not only lifts your mood, but also helps you navigate life's challenges with more ease and grace. As we move forward, let's explore one more essential principle of Stoicism: the importance of solitude. Solitude is often misunderstood as loneliness, but in reality, it's a powerful tool for self-reflection and personal growth. Let's dive into how solitude can help you reconnect with yourself and find inner peace. 10. Appreciate solitude. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Marcus Aurelius. In today's world, many of us fear being alone. We fill our time with distractions, social media, entertainment, constant interaction, because the thought of sitting quietly with ourselves can feel uncomfortable. But Stoicism teaches us that solitude is not something to be feared. On the contrary, it is a powerful opportunity to reconnect with ourselves, to reflect on our lives, and to grow. When was the last time you spent time alone, without distractions, simply reflecting on your thoughts and emotions? How often do you allow yourself the space to be still, to listen to your inner voice, and to explore what truly matters to you? Solitude, in the Stoic sense, is not about isolation or loneliness. It's about creating space for self-reflection and inner growth. It's in these quiet moments that we can gain clarity, assess our values, and reconnect with our purpose. By embracing solitude, we create the opportunity to better understand ourselves and the world around us. Ask yourself, do you fear being alone, or do you embrace it as a time for self-discovery? What insights might you gain if you spent more time in quiet reflection, away from the distractions of everyday life? In solitude, we can also strengthen our relationship with ourselves. So often we look to others for validation, approval, or a sense of belonging. But Stoicism reminds us that true contentment comes from within. By spending time alone, we learn to trust ourselves, to listen to our own wisdom, and to cultivate a sense of inner peace that is not dependent on external factors. Imagine taking a long walk by yourself in nature, with nothing but your thoughts for company. As you walk, you reflect on your life, your goals, and your values. In this solitude, you find clarity, inspiration, and a renewed sense of purpose. This is the gift of solitude. It gives us the space to reconnect with who we are and what truly matters. These 10 principles offer a path to inner peace and fulfillment in a world that is often chaotic and unpredictable. By embracing these practices, you can find clarity, strength, and joy in every moment of life without forcing anything. If you found value in these teachings, we encourage you to take action. Like this video, share it with your friends and loved ones, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more insights into how Stoicism can transform your life. And now, we'd love to hear from you. Which of these principles resonates with you the most? How do you plan to apply Stoic wisdom to your life? Comment below and share your thoughts. We can't wait to hear your stories and continue this conversation together. Thank you again for watching, and may the wisdom of Stoicism guide you toward a life of serenity, wisdom, and joy. Until next time, be well and live fully.